Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy MMA Propaholic, and I'm back with another breakdown. And I'm going to be breaking down Simon Oliveira versus Daniel Marcos for UFC 283 in Brazil, taking place this Saturday. And yeah, guys, last week's card, UFC Vegas 67, went 2-3 with my bets. Ketlin Vieira finished only voided, but lost the biggest bet of the night in Punel Soriano money line, which didn't look like a good bet after the fight happened, but I did like my read on it. I actually he was my first bet of the card for that card, so that I actually placed for that card. So yeah, it was a disappointing loss for Soriano and just for him and too. Like his cardio just looked awful. Kopylov went that body and it was just ends for Soriano. But yeah, guys, down 2.47 units on that card, but I'm back ready to fire on this card. I actually already have four track bets on this card, and I actually have a track bet on this fight, which we are going to be getting into later in the video. But yeah, guys, Daniel Marcos versus Simon Oliveira. Simon Oliveira is 2 years older. He actually is 5'4", as Marcos is 5'7". Um, Oliveira has a 72-inch reach, as Marcos has a 69-inch reach. They both fight in the orthodox stance. And Simon Oliveira is training at an Astra Fight Team in Brazil. And Daniel Marcos was actually training in Peru, but he moved his camp to American Combat, training with Charles Rosa. And he moved camps in about January. And yeah, I'm gonna get into their pro experience, and then I'm gonna talk more about that. But Simon Oliveira actually has 9 more professional fights than Marcos. He actually only has 15 minutes more of cage time, which is pretty crazy. Oliveira has 2 UFC fights, and Marcos has one of his fights from the UFC Contender Series. And Simon Oliveira is finishing at an 88% clip, and Marcos is finishing at a 54% clip. But yeah, guys, what really sticks out to me here is the striking. I don't like what I see from Simon Oliveira in the striking. And when I went back and watched his Contender Series fight against Jose Alday, they were at the end of the first round where he was sitting on the stool and they asked him if he was tired, and he was just heavily breathing and he was saying yes, he was extremely tired. And his corner was telling him not to initiate the wrestling. And what did he do in the second round? He actually shot such a lousy takedown from about right field that just looked like you could telegraph it from a mile away. And you actually hear DC go, "Oh, he's like, I could see that takedown from about a mile away." I mean, he shot from the other side of the cage as his opponent was standing on the other side of the cage. It was a terrible shot for a takedown. And the worst part is that he actually got it. And what was he doing with that control time? He did absolutely nothing on top. He just laid on him and was just heavy breathing. And he wasn't advancing any positions when he was actually on top with his jujitsu. But yeah, guys, Simon Oliveira is guillotine reliant in my mind. If you guys look at his last 6 fights since 2017, it's guillotine in the first round, 54 seconds in, guillotine 3 minutes into the first round. He actually lost a decision to Air Farias. I can't pronounce his name, guys, but he's 12-4, and he's actually currently ranked first out of any UFC bantamweight in Brazil, which is pretty crazy. So that's what they have on Tapology. But oh no, he's actually third. My bad. But he's actually first ranked active UFC. Yeah, that's not right. I don't know what the hell they have that for. That's not right. But yeah, I don't know what they have that listed for. But yeah, guys, and then he gets another front choke 2 minutes into his next fight, and then he gets another front choke 2 minutes into the first round, another front choke 1 minute into the first round, and then he fights in the Contender Series. So he's coming into the Contender Series with his last 2 years of fights just ending in guillotine chokes in the very first round. And I'm gonna. This is like the tape that I watched on Oliveira. It's these guys initiating the grappling and just putting their heads in horrific spots in order for him to actually get what he wants. And Oliveira just doesn't have good open net wrestling. He likes to get you in the clinch where he could just pull guard and get you on the ground, where he could just go for the guillotine. And like what Daniel Marcos shows is good takedown defense. He showed an 84% takedown defense in his last fight, showing takedown defense on 11 of the 13 takedowns, only getting taken down twice and only getting controlled for 17 seconds. But for Marcos, his last fight was actually 3 years before that Contender Series fight. He had a 3-year layoff. He did fight. He beat the crap out of Brandon Lewis. He landed 19 of 21 significant leg strikes to the calf. Which really caught my eye, and how he was maintaining distance and how crisp his boxing was. Like, when you guys watch this guy's tape in like 2019 and then you watch him in 2018, he actually is beating people with a 7-1 record, and he beats someone with an 82 record, gets a doctor stoppage win against a guy who's 5-4, then beats a guy 3 minutes into the second round by knockout. And after that, he took a 3-year layoff, and he came back in the Contender Series, and he looked like such a complete new fighter. And I think he looked like a complete new fighter because he's training at American Combat, and he's training with Charles Rosa. He's training with guys who actually like have fought and have experience in the UFC. And guys, what is Charles Rosa known for? He's known for getting out of nasty chokes and nasty guillotine chokes, like such as front chokes, anaconda chokes. And what is Daniel Marcos' camp going to be reliant on in this camp? They're definitely going to invest in that. Guaranteeing you guys, like, Charles Rosa is showing them all the ways to get out of guillotines, how to avoid getting into them. But that is what really caught my eye too. And what also catches my eye is, like, when you guys go back to the Contender Series fight for Oliveira, he landed one. He was tired at the end of round 1, and he barely landed any strikes in that round. What Oliveira's game is, guys, he just does a bunch of spinning shit, and he doesn't stand at range. He has a very wide stance. He shoots out of right field. He doesn't have good takedowns. What he really just has is good jiu-jitsu off his back where he wants you. And Marcos doesn't want to be in the grappling as Tony Gravely wanted to wrestle him. I mean, Tony Gravely is a 2-time national champion. So, like, what is Gravely? Why wouldn't Gravely want to wrestle him? But like, even when you watch the Gravely fight, like, Gravely has been submitted 5 times, and he's been submitted by guillotine multiple times. And what couldn't Oliveira do? He couldn't submit him, but he had him in the first 30 seconds. He kind of gassed himself, jumping guard and going for that guillotine. But that's what Oliveira likes to do, and that's what he's relying on. And he gets his front leg chopped. He gets it kicked because he stands in that very wide stance. And what does Marcos do? He kicks the leg. He throws in combinations with the boxing. He's always moving in and out. He's always circling his opponents off the cage. And the Brandon Lewis fight was just such a great example of that. And that fight just caught my eye, guys. Like, what the damage that Marcos took in that fight, he defended 73% of his strikes. And what's crazy about Oliveira's striking defense too, guys, like, the guy is extremely hittable. He keeps his chin wide up and he keeps his hands down, and he's willing to eat one in order to land one. And what is he going to do? He's going to try to eat one, and he's going to throw some spinning back fist, or he's going to try to throw a spinning kick to the body. But what's also caught my eye about Oliveira is he used to fight, I'm pretty sure, at featherweight, and I'm pretty sure he has fought at lightweight like twice in his career. And that was like, I think that was in like 2018, and that was like 3 years before going up to bantamweight. And Oliveira has only fought, I think, like 3 fights at bantamweight in the last like 4 years, which is just alarming to me. I don't know how his weight cut is going to look too. And like, what I think in the Jose Alday fight, guys, like, Simon Oliveira also took 2 years off too, which is crazy to me. His gas tank might have been really bad too, and he might have had a bad weight cut. I don't know how his weight cut's going to look here, but what I know about Marcos is he is a purple belt, and like, he's no slouch, guys. Like, Marcos is very, like, he opened minus 160, and everyone just immediately betted Simon Oliveira. I mean, the Dana White Contender Series fade is like a thing. Everyone did it right away. But, I mean, I think the lines opened like 2 weeks ago, and I taped this fight 2 days ago, guys, and I put a I put a 0.3 unit bet on Daniel Marcos money line at plus 165. The line is plus 135 now, so the line did move. People started betting Marcos, and I think people just realize that this Oliveira guy is just guillotine reliant. He doesn't win any minutes on his back. Like, he's not Nascimento off his back, guys. Like, if he is to sit on his back and you're holding a minus like 170 ticket, you are going to hate yourself for it. Like, he was plus 190 in his last fight, and I know a couple of people who did, like my friends, bet him because they thought he was going to win by a front choke, and it's not what happened. Gravely was just able to escape every time, and he was able to win lots of minutes. And Gravely was also winning minutes on the feet, kicking the lead leg, which was slowing down Oliveira, and which really slows down Oliveira's game to get the fight to the ground. And the guy doesn't win too much minutes on the feet to start with. Like, the guy's throwing 6 significant strikes per minute, guys, and he's landing 2 at a 44% accuracy clip. Like, he doesn't want to be on the feet, but he doesn't have a good open mat wrestling game in order to get it to the ground. And I think if he gets it to the ground, Marcos has been training with he's been training with way better fighters, and he's been training with Peru, and he's been training for about a year now at American Combat. So I think Marcos has just been improving in a lot of stuff, and I think we're going to see a better Daniel Marcos. And I think the bookies saw the same thing when they opened it minus 160, and like plus 165 was just crazy to me, guys. Like, I had to take the shot. Like, if this fight, guys, is on the feet for 15 minutes, it's Marcos all day. I would be extremely shocked if Saimon Oliveira 1 minute on the feet if this was a 15-minute striking fight, and let's say Oliveira can't get the fight to the ground or hold the fight to the ground or can't get the submission early. And if he is to win this fight, I would be shocked because I give the cardio edge to Marcos. I give the experience to Oliveira. I give the better competition to Oliveira. But even when you look at Oliveira's competition, like all these guys that he's front choking, these are not good competition. And one of the guys he did Watcher Mimura, who's 12-2, and that's the best guy on his record. And that guy just fights out of Japan, and he's not training with any type of BJJ black belts. He's not fighting any BJJ black belts from Japan. I mean, I would be extremely shocked if there was a BJJ black belt in Japan. So, I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, I would just be shocked. But I mean, yeah, guys, it's just the line just really, I was shocked when I saw it after the tape. I took the shot. I actually bet him yesterday. But yeah, guys, let me check real quick. I think you guys can get plus. Let me check now. Yeah, best line you guys can get is plus 145 on DraftKings, and you guys can get plus 145 on BetGM. But yeah, guys, that's it for me here. That's my first bet of this card, actually. This is the first fight of the night, and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I have a bet on 3 of the first 4 fights of the night. So I'm going to be breaking down the next fight that I actually am going to be breaking down, which I'm doing right after this, is going to be it's going to be Nunes versus Farron. Oh, that should be fun. It's going to be tons of fun because I got something lined in order for that one, guys, and I am regretting even going to say it on camera, but I'm going to do it. But yeah, guys, 0.3 unit bet on Daniel Marcos money line at plus 165. That's it for me here, guys. I actually was on Johnny K Pick's channel on Saturday with the pre-show for UFC Vegas 67. It was tons of fun. So thank you for having me, Johnny. And yeah, guys, I'm also doing a show on Thursday on Twitter Spaces with Couch Warrior. We're doing a show called Prop Talk. We had our first show this Thursday, and yeah, guys, it was tons of fun. We had people in the chat. We were letting them speak, them talking about their bets, and we were talking about our best prop bets for each fight. And what did I do and what did I not bet? I called Nurmagomedov KO twice on 2 different shows and didn't bet it. Was extremely disappointed with myself, but I hope other people made money off that call. But what also happened to me, guys, on that card is I had a $5 free bet parlay to win $550. I had Rebecca by submission plus 220, lowest leg of the parlay misses. I had Nurmagomedov plus 750 by KO in there, and I had Dan Ige by KO at plus 310 in there. So thank you, Rebecca. Parlay life, guys. Parlays are not fun. Just straight bet them. I need to learn that. But yeah, guys, Daniel Marcos, 0.43 units at plus 165. Make sure you guys drop a like. Make sure you guys drop a comment in the comment section below, and I'll be dropping more breakdowns tonight. So stay tuned, guys. Peace out.